Class-3 Deathworld Terrified Cadets, the human asked about snacks. Why would a simple question about food cause an entire alien crew to panic? The metal floor of the horizon vibrated beneath Jack Frost's boots. Red warning lights pulsed along the corridor walls as he jogged toward the briefing room. His breath came fast. Late again. The ship lurched sideways. Jack stumbled, caught himself against a cold bulkhead. Through the viewport, he saw stars spinning as the vessel changed course abruptly. All cadets report to Briefing Chamber 4 immediately, the ship AI announced, its voice flat, but somehow urgent. Emergency assignment protocol activated. Jack rounded the corner and nearly collided with Zix, a four-armed cadet from the Proxima system. Zix's skin had turned a pale blue, a sign of stress in his species. "What's happening?" Jack asked. Zix's mouthparts clicked rapidly. "They're sending us to a forbidden zone. We're all going to die." The briefing room doors slid open. Inside, 11 alien cadets huddled in tight groups. Some checked personal shields. Others whispered in their native tongues. The air smelled of fear, a sharp, acidic scent Jack recognized from basic training. Commander Wexler stood at the front, all four of his eyes fixed on a holographic display. His exoskeleton looked tighter than usual, plates clamped down in defensive posture. "Cadets," Wexler said, mandibles clicking. "Outpost Sigma 9 went silent 6 hours ago. We are the closest Galactic Academy vessel. Our orders are to investigate." The hologram shifted to show a planet green and blue like Earth, but with angry red storm systems swirling across its surface. "This is XD-2971, Wexler continued. "A Class-3 Deathworld." The room erupted in hisses and clicks. A tentacled cadet near Jack began to tremble so violently that its environmental suit emitted warning beeps. Jack frowned. The term meant nothing to him. He'd only joined the Academy 3 months ago, the first human to be accepted after Earth joined the Galactic Alliance. "We enter orbit in 20 minutes, Wexler said. "Ground team will deploy immediately after. Prepare your survival gear." A tall, insectoid cadet named Krill raised a limb. "Sir, with respect, first-year cadets are not qualified for Deathworld missions. Protocol states." "Protocol has been overridden," Wexler cut in. "This is now a military operation." Jack watched as several cadets activated personal shields. Others checked emergency beacons. The tentacled cadet had curled into a protective ball. Jack raised his hand. "Sir, how long will we be on the surface?" "Unknown," Wexler replied. "Prepare for extended deployment." Jack nodded, then asked, "Does anyone have snacks for the mission?" The room went completely silent. Every alien head turned toward Jack. Eyes, stalks, and sensory organs, all fixed on him with identical expressions of horror. Commander Wexler stared at Jack. All four eyes widened. His mandibles froze mid-click. The commander's exoskeleton plates rattled slightly as he took a step back. "What did you say, Cadet Frost?" Wexler asked, voice barely audible. Jack looked around, confused by the reaction. "I just asked if anyone had food." For the mission, the tentacled cadet made a high-pitched keening sound and rolled farther away from Jack. Others began whispering urgently. "The human wants to eat during combat," one whispered. "It's thinking about food while facing death," another hissed. Commander Wexler's claw clicked a button on his wrist. "Security, report to Briefing Chamber 4. We may have a situation with the human." 2 security officers entered the briefing room. Their armor plates clicked as they moved toward Jack. Each carried a neural stunner at their side. "Is there a problem?" Jack asked, backing up against the cold metal wall. Commander Wexler raised a claw, stopping the security team. "No action needed. Yet," he turned to Jack. "Cadet Frost, are you aware what a Class-3 Deathworld is?" Jack shook his head. The ship lurched again as it decelerated into orbit. Warning lights flashed across the viewports. It means 90% of all native life forms can kill most sentient species, Vexler said. His voice became lower. Only one known intelligent species evolved on such a planet. The room fell silent again. Jack felt the weight of alien stares. Humans, Vexler finished. The assignment board lit up. Team assignments flashed across the screen. Jack's name appeared alone. Sir, Jack said, pointing at the display. I don't have a partner. Krill, the insectoid cadet, clicked his mandibles. No one will pair with the Deathworlder. Enough, Vexler snapped. I will accompany Cadet Frost myself. The rest of you, form your teams as assigned. The ship shuddered violently. Outside the viewport, the green-blue surface of XD-2971 filled the view. Angry storm clouds swirled across its surface. Prepare for drop in 5 minutes, the AI announced. The cadets moved to the equipment lockers. They grabbed survival packs, weapons, and environmental suits. No one stood near Jack. Vexler approached him, extending a datapad. The outpost's last transmission. Watch it. The screen flickered. A panicked alien face appeared. Blood leaked from a wound on its head. Something got in, the alien said, looking over its shoulder. It's showing apex predator behavior. Not like anything in our database. The alien looked up suddenly. A shadow fell across its face. The transmission cut to static. What does that mean? Jack asked. It means something hunted them, Vexler said. Something smart. The dropship bay opened. 6 small craft waited, engines humming. Jack followed Vexler into the nearest one. The door sealed with a hiss. Why are they afraid of me? Jack asked as the ship detached from the horizon. Vexler's exoskeleton tightened. Because you asked about food before a combat mission. Only a species evolved to thrive in constant danger would think about eating while facing death. The dropship plunged through the atmosphere. Fire licked at the viewports. The craft shook violently. Brace for landing, the ship AI warned. They hit the ground hard. Jack's teeth rattled. The door hissed open. Hot, humid air rushed in. Outside, a jungle of strange plants stretched in all directions. The outpost stood 100 meters away. Its walls were torn open. Metal panels hung loose. Stay alert, Vexler said, drawing his weapon. They approached the outpost slowly. The door had been ripped from its frame. Claw marks scored the metal. Inside, bodies lay scattered across the floor. Not just dead torn apart. Blood of different colors stained the walls. Jack stepped forward. His boot crunched on something. He looked down. Food wrappers. Empty ration packs. He picked one up. The label was in English. Commander, Jack said, his voice tight. These are human military rations. Vexler froze. All 4 eyes locked on the wrapper. His exoskeleton rattled with fear. There were no humans stationed at this outpost, he whispered. A low growl echoed from deeper inside the ruined structure. Vexler grabbed Jack's arm and pulled him behind an overturned metal table. The growl came again, closer now. Something moved in the shadows at the far end of the room. We need to leave, Vexler whispered. A red light began flashing on a damaged console nearby. An emergency beacon had activated. Look, Jack pointed. The screen displayed coordinates and a pulsing dot. Someone's alive out there. Vexler's mandibles clicked rapidly. It could be a trap. The growl turned into a screech. A shape lunged from the darkness. Jack caught only a glimpse something fast, with too many limbs. Vexler fired his weapon. Blue energy burst from the barrel. The creature dodged and vanished through a hole in the wall. What was that? Jack asked, heart pounding. Not in any database I know, Vexler said. He tapped his communicator. Commander to all teams. Report, Static answered him. Then a panicked voice broke through. Under attack. Unknown hostiles. We need... The voice cut off in a scream. Jack grabbed a weapon from a dead security officer. The metal felt cold in his hands. "We need to help them," he said. "No, we follow the beacon," Vexler decided. Something is very wrong here. They exited through the back of the outpost. The jungle pressed close. Plants with razor edges grew in twisted patterns. The air smelled like metal and rot. Jack checked the coordinates. This way. They moved through the dense vegetation. Jack noticed Vexler watching him closely. "What?" Jack asked. "You move differently than the others," Vexler said. "You scan constantly. You check escape routes. You stay aware of wind direction." "Basic survival skills," Jack said. "No, predator skills." A high-pitched whine cut through the air. Jack ducked instinctively. Something shot past his head and embedded in a tree. A dart. "Run," he shouted. They sprinted through the jungle. Darts whistled around them. One grazed Vexler's arm. He stumbled but kept moving. The trees thinned. They burst into a clearing and stopped short. A human military transport ship lay crashed in the center. Its hull was torn open. Scorch marks blackened the metal skin. "That's impossible," Vexler said. "Human ships are not allowed in this sector." Jack approached cautiously. The ship's ramp was down. Inside, equipment was scattered everywhere. No bodies. He found the ship's log terminal still working. The screen flickered as he activated it. "Transport mission 447, a voice said. "Carrying experimental bioweapon XR9 to testing facility. Warning, contents highly dangerous. Adaptive properties may..." The recording cut off. "Bioweapon?" Vexler's voice shook. "Your people created a weapon for Deathworlds?" "I don't know anything about this," Jack said. A screech came from behind them. They spun around. 3 creatures blocked their path. They looked wrong, part animal, part machine. Their skin was a mix of scales and metal plates. Red eyes glowed in the darkness. "What are they?" Jack asked. "The weapon," Vexler said. "It's adapting." The creatures lunged forward. Vexler's communicator crackled. Through the static, screens and weapons fire came through. "Commander, they're everywhere." "Can't hold," the voice cut off. Jack examined one of the dead creatures. Its body was changing even as he watched. Metal components were growing from the flesh. "We need to get back to the ship," Jack said. Vexler shook his head. "Look." He pointed to a monitor still working in the cargo hold. The screen showed external cameras. Dozens of creatures surrounded the crashed ship. More were moving through the jungle toward the outpost. "We're trapped," Vexler said. Jack checked his weapons charge. Not enough ammo for all of them. A new sound came from outside, the whine of engines. Jack looked at the monitor. A dropship was landing in the clearing. "Reinforcements?" he asked. "No," Vexler said. His voice was flat. "The other cadets." They ran to the ship's exit. Outside, the dropship's door opened. 5 alien cadets stumbled out, firing wildly at approaching creatures. "Over here," Jack shouted. The cadets ran toward them. Krill, the insectoid, was leading them. They made it inside just as creatures reached the ship. "Seal the door," Vexler ordered. Jack slammed his hand on the emergency panel. The ramp closed with a hiss. "What are those things?" Krill asked, mandibles clicking rapidly. "Human bioweapons," Vexler said, glaring at Jack. "I had nothing to do with this," Jack protested. A tentacled cadet named Mira stepped forward. "The horizon is under attack. These creatures are climbing the hull. Communications are jammed." Jack's mind raced. "We need to warn the galactic fleet. If these things spread to other worlds..." "Why should we trust you?" Krill interrupted. "Your kind made these monsters." Banging sounds came from the hull. The creatures were trying to get in. "Because I'm the only one who killed them," Jack said. "And we're all dead if we don't work together." The ship shuddered as something heavy landed on the roof. "He's right," Vexler said. "Cadet Frost, what do you suggest?" Jack looked at the ship schematics on a nearby screen. The outpost has a transmitter array, powerful enough to reach the fleet. But we'd need to power it up. The reactor is still online, Mira said. I saw the readings. But the path back is crawling with those things, Krill added. Jack nodded. We'll use the outpost's reactor as a bomb. Create a diversion. Vexlar's exoskeleton tightened. That's a military tactic. It's survival, Jack corrected. Metal screeched as claws tore at the hull above them. There's something else you should know, Vexlar said quietly. The Galactic Council sent us here knowing the danger. First-year cadets. Expendable. The alien cadets stared at their commander in shock. Why? Myra asked. To assess the threat before risking valuable personnel, Vexlar admitted. Jack felt cold anger rise in his chest. Well, I'm not dying here. Who's with me? The cadets looked at each other. Then, surprisingly, Krill stepped forward. Teach us, the insectoid said. Teach us to fight like a human. The others moved closer to Jack. Even Vexlar nodded. Basic combat tactics, Jack said. Stay low. Move fast. Aim for the head or center mass. He demonstrated the proper way to hold a weapon. The aliens copied him awkwardly. Most important, Jack continued, don't freeze. Keep moving. Hesitation means death. A loud crash came from above. Part of the ceiling caved in. A creature dropped into the cargo hold, larger than the others. Half its face was metal. It screeched and lunged toward them. Jack raised his weapon, but it clicked empty. The creature leapt at him, claws extended. Krill fired. The blast hit the creature's shoulder. It stumbled, but kept coming. Jack grabbed a metal pipe from the floor and swung hard. The pipe connected with the creature's head. It fell back, screeching. Now, Jack shouted. Mira and two other cadets fired together. The creature's chest exploded in a spray of blood and metal parts. Don't celebrate yet, Jack said. More are coming. They moved to the ship's bridge. Through the cracked view screen, they could see the outpost in the distance. Between them and it, dozens of creatures moved through the jungle. The plan, Vexlar prompted. Jack pointed to a schematic. We split up. One team goes to the reactor, sets it to overload. The other heads for the transmitter array. Who goes where? Krill asked. Jack looked at the alien cadets. None of them moved like predators. None had his instincts. I'll go to the transmitter alone, he decided. The rest of you set the reactor and get back to the dropship. That's suicide, Vexlar said. I move faster alone, Jack replied. And I'm the only one who's killed these things. No one argued. They gathered what weapons they could find. We go on my signal, Jack said. He checked the external cameras. Ready? Now. They burst from the ship. Creatures turned toward them. Jack ran left while the others went right. 3 creatures chased him. Jack ducked under low branches. He jumped over fallen logs. The jungle blurred around him. A creature leapt from a tree. Jack rolled under it. He kept running. The outpost loomed ahead. Jack could hear weapons fire behind him. The other team was engaged. He reached the outpost and slipped inside. The transmitter room was at the far end. Bodies still littered the floor. Jack found the transmitter. Its panel was damaged. He worked quickly, connecting wires, bypassing broken circuits. The screen flickered to life. Jack typed in the emergency code and recorded a short message. This is Cadet Jack Frost, Planet XD-2971. Human bioweapon loose. Adaptive technology. Spreading rapidly. Quarantine immediately. He hit send. The transmitter hummed as it powered up. A screech came from behind him. Jack turned. 5 creatures blocked the exit. Come on then, he whispered. The first creature lunged. Jack sidestepped and drove a broken metal rod through its eye. The second and third came together. Jack fired a weapon he'd taken from a dead guard. One creature fell, The other slashed his leg. Pain shot through him. Jack stumbled. The fourth creature leapt. A blue energy blast hit it mid-air. The creature crashed into the wall. Krill stood in the doorway, weapon raised. Behind him, Mira and the others fired at the remaining creatures. "You came back," Jack said, surprised. "We followed the human," Krill replied. "Like you taught us." An explosion rocked the outpost, the reactor. "Time to go," Jack said. He tried to stand, but his leg gave way. Mira and another cadet grabbed him. They half-carried him toward the exit. Outside, the jungle was burning. Creatures screamed as fire consumed them. The dropship waited in a clearing. They stumbled aboard. The engines fired, lifting them away from the inferno below. In orbit, the horizon was surrounded by creatures climbing its hull. As they watched, a galactic fleet ship appeared. Then another, and another. "They got the message," Vexler said. The fleet ships fired precision weapons. The creatures on the horizon died. More ships descended toward the planet. Jack felt cold. His vision blurred. He looked down at his wounded leg. Black veins spread from the cut. "Commander," he said weakly. "I think I'm infected." Vexler moved quickly. He injected something into Jack's arm. "Stasis compound," the commander explained. "It will slow the spread until we reach medical facilities." 3 weeks later, Jack woke in a medical bay. His leg was healed, though a black scar remained. Vexler stood nearby, watching him. "The planet?" Jack asked. "Quarantined." The fleet contained the outbreak. Jack sat up slowly. "The other cadets?" "Waiting for you," Vexler said. "They formed a new unit. Elite Squad for Deathworld Operations. They requested you as their instructor." Jack noticed something strange in his reflection. His eyes had a metallic gleam that hadn't been there before. "The infection," Vexler said, following his gaze. "We couldn't remove it completely. It changed you, but the doctors say it's stable." Jack nodded. He would deal with that later. He walked to the mess hall where the cadets waited. They stood when he entered, a sign of respect. Jack reached into his pocket and pulled out a package. "Anyone want a snack?" he asked casually. The alien cadets looked at each other. Then, nervously, Krill stepped forward and took one.